I'm asking that we adjourn in memory today for the Reverend Jethroe Moore II, somebody that most of the people in our community who knew him well referred to as Jeff Moore. He was, to say he was a community advocate in the San Jose area would be a dramatic understatement, and it's impossible in any kind of adjournment comments really to capture his work on the civil rights side in terms of education and any number of things that he made major changes in our community. Although he was born in Norfolk, Virginia, he came to San Jose as a youth and lived in the neighborhood within a mile of my own house, and went to the neighborhood high school, Silver Creek High School. And I want to note, because he's probably listening, the Reverend, he was a lifelong Raiders fan, and part of that was that the Silver Creek High School mascot was the Raiders. They wore the same uniforms and so on. And of course, when that team, professional team, was in Oakland, many people all the way through Santa Clara County were fans like Jeff. He went on to Evergreen Valley College, also in the same neighborhood, to get his Associate of Arts degree, but then he went on to get his Bachelor of Science degree in Bible and Theology, Management and Ethics from the San Jose Christian College. He was a pastor of more than one congregation in the San Jose area, and a good one, a dedicated one. He was also, during that time, during his adult life, a liaison, and he held other roles on behalf as an employee of the Eastside Union High School District, which is a district, the largest high school district in Northern California with about 25,000 students. I got to know him again there after our interactions as youth, playing pickup football games on the weekends. I got to interact with him when I was a trustee of that school district some years later. I got to know him even better when I joined the San Jose City Council, because by that time, Jeff had dedicated every other ounce of free time that he had to the San Jose's NAACP chapter. He led it for decades. He became the first vice president of the California-Hawaii chapter of the NAACP. He helped keep our county and the wider Bay Area accountable for the historic injustices being repeated within our government systems, particularly. A couple of recent accomplishments of his that really he didn't receive very much personal credit for was making Santa Clara County the first county in the nation to adopt a paid Juneteenth holiday for its employees. And keep in mind, Santa Clara County had 25,000 employees and another nearly 25,000 IHSS workers. He came into my office one day as a county supervisor and put a big document on my desk, sat down for a moment and said, "Read this. I'm going to come back and ask you what you think of it later." That's how Jeff was. It didn't matter if you were his friend or not. He was demanding in that way. And he did come back, and I hadn't read it yet. I had the best intentions. But that time, he sat down at my desk, and he questioned me as to why I didn't think it was important enough to pay attention to. It was a document that argued that counties like ours should not have a box on employment applications that asked whether or not someone had a criminal record. Ban the box. And he said, this needs to be done now. You need to eliminate that. And if somebody's in a sensitive area and they're accepted for a job, go ahead and run a background check. But you shouldn't be eliminating and screening people out. Most of the people in this room know about that issue. Well, I told him we'd go to the Board of Supervisors, put it on the agenda, and I'm sure we can get it approved, but it was handled administratively. As a result of his request, the county executive said, I can change the applications right now. I don't need the Board of Supervisors approval. A couple years later, Jeff was challenged, because NAACP presidents are elected, of course, by their own members, and he was challenged one year. He had an opponent. Walks into my office and he says, Dave, I need you to write me a letter to say some of the things I've done. I said, why? He said, because I've never told people about Ban the Box. I've never gone back to the NAACP and taken credit for things like the Juneteenth holiday. That's the kind of person he was, sort of a demanding person, but with this presence of humility all the time, where he kind of refused to take credit himself for things. And I hope today is just an opportunity here, us representing in the Senate chambers, all the people in the state of California, to really give him a little bit of that credit that he never took for himself. I was down in Los Angeles for the last California-Hawaii NAACP chapter luncheon, which is an annual event. He was there, of course, quietly in the background. I was one of the speakers on the agenda, and I made a note to self to make sure to acknowledge him, and I forgot. And it happens sometimes. It just got off my script, got off my notes, was in a hurry, and I walked out, and I was looking for him, and he had already moved on to another room. And I said to myself, that's okay, I see Jeff all the time. I'll have many, many opportunities to acknowledge him. You know, my old saying, the next time I'll do it twice from the stage. Well, I never got to see him again, and it's heartbreaking to me, heartbreaking to a lot of people in Santa Clara County, including those that are members of the Black Leadership Kitchen Cabinet in our county, those who served with him when he was a member of the San Jose Public Safety Advisory Board, where he was fierce in terms of pursuing DWB issues, which were very problematic in our county and in the city of San Jose for a number of years. And he succeeded in changing the rules. He was on a number of other boards and commissions. So that's why I say it's be an understatement to say he was an advocate in our community. It's part of his family upbringing, and I want to emphasize that. His brother, Rodney, was also a great civil rights leader, served with me on a school board for some time, was an attorney, and then later headed up the Black Bar, as we call it, the National Bar. I know for Rodney, this is a tremendous personal loss. The two grew up, again, playing sports together. You know, literally, I knew them, I saw them right down the street, was fortunate enough to serve professionally with them as colleagues or alongside of them later on. So the loss for their family is devastating, really devastating. Jeff was 66 years old. It was unexpected that we would lose him, as I alluded to earlier. He's also survived by his wife, Audrey Hill, his two sons. One of them is namesake Jethroe Zion Moore III, and Josiah Javon Moore. I know all of our hearts go out to his family, including those who didn't get a chance to know him personally. Great loss for our community, and I'd ask the Senate to adjourn in his memory today. Thank you.